here we...
There is my family. I'm going to close the door.
It always happens. Why does that always happen?
Yeah, sorry.
Every time I try to start this stream, everybody goes away.
Sorry for this.
Okay, we are ready to start now.
Okay.
Всем привет. С вами в прямом эфире уже традиционный DMS Talks. Я Лера, его продюсер и продюсер Disruptive Marketing School и международной конференции DMC. А в соседнем окошечке со мной Франк Vinchon, который уже пару лет назад выступал на конференции DMC, а в прошлом году переехал в Амстердам, где развивает собственный бизнес-консалтинг Neon42, который помогает брендам строить правильную коммуникацию с аудиторией. И сегодня наш диалог опять будет на английском. Если вы ничего не понимаете, не беда, не переживайте. Совсем скоро на канале появится версия с субтитрами. So, let's begin. Hi, Frank. How are you today?
Hi, I'm all good. I'm all fine. It's a day off today in the Netherlands, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Where is your wine? You were supposed to start with the wine.
Oh gosh, you know what? I've taken some Yeah. Sorry for this. Okay, I will try to find some wine on the way. Yeah.
So okay, let's start with some let's call it personal questions that I got ready for you, and everybody is interested in it. And my first question will be about one fact that I found out while checking the information. When you were a junior in Young and Rubicon in Paris, you inspired Frédéric Becbédère, one of the characters of the famous film 99 Francs. We would like to know which exact character was it.
All right. It's okay. First of all, it's a funny story because when I was living in Russia, obviously I didn't know that. Okay, my daughter is coming, of course. I didn't know that Frédéric Becbédère was so famous. So the thing is that it was kind of a long story, but I'm gonna keep it short. So the thing is, like, I was a junior, yes, in Young and Rubicon in Paris. So as you may know, Frédéric was a copywriter. No. Wait a second. Yul, call her. Sorry for that. So Frédéric was working on some big clients. I was working with him on one very big telecom brand in France at that time, and I remember he was on the halftime, like working for the agency, and halftime he was working on his new book. He was already kind of a little bit famous for writing novels and short stories, and nobody knew in the agency, but he was collecting so much information about the colleagues, the people, etc., and he was preparing 99 Francs. So just to answer your question, because he said to me when the book was out, it's like I inspired him to be Jean-François. So so he changed all the names not to have any problems because all the characters of the book were real characters. And I was quite stupid, idiot, not understanding much about advertising, which was kind of true at that time. And always being happy to please the clients. And his biggest dream was to have a family with a pet in the future, which actually I have now. So you see, but
You come true.
Yeah. So things come true. You see, it's nice to imagine.
So that's a nice story to start with.
Well,
so let's see. You worked in Young and Rubicon in Paris. Then you went to Saatchi Saatchi in London. Then you moved to Russia and worked to video and publicists, as far as I know.
Yeah, not only, but yes, yeah.
And now you landed in Amsterdam. Do you see, is it a final destination, or is still like trip going on?
I don't think it's my final destination. I think it's it was I mean, the intention about Amsterdam was to make an entry point to come back closer to my European roots, obviously. And why Amsterdam? Because it's a very in terms of lifestyle, it's really perfect, very nice. And yeah, and my wife is Russian, doesn't speak French perfectly, and okay, my kids, they speak all the languages in the world, but anyway, so the fact that they are very good in English was also very, very practical for her to feel at home. And I would say on the business side of it, obviously, as you may know, the Netherlands is a country with a lot of big companies like Nike. I think Genia talked about it. Nike, Tesla, Netflix, etc. And the other thing is, like, they have a super airport. I mean, you can be at the airport in 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. You know, I'm not very far. And it goes everywhere in the world. And this is really practical for me because I'm working for clients a bit everywhere. So for me, it was really, really, really a good destination to live in. Yeah.
So speaking about traveling, right now, I know that Europe is opening the borders slightly, carefully, but opening.
Well, this is obviously this is a topic that is kind of a big, yeah, it's a big topic for everybody right now. So Europe is going to start to open the borders step by step. It's not going to be very, lean and fast. But we believe that in June somehow, well, because I would like to visit my family in France, and so we are obviously focusing on this information because we want to be able to cross Belgium and go to France for the vacation. But for the moment, it's still a little bit tricky. But we believe that in June, mid-June maybe, it's going to be possible. So far, Belgium was a little bit reluctant with the idea because they had a very high peak of cases. For a small country, it was a lot. I mean, but yeah, like Italy, Spain, France, everybody. But Belgium was very touched. So they are still in negotiation. But I think for the vacation is going to be possible. Yeah.
So it will be your first destination to go to.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's really funny because the last thing I've done before the kind of the start of the pandemic was to renew my visa for Russia. So, and I was supposed to fly to Russia like exactly 2 days after the start of the lockdown and the planes and all the stuff. So I have a brand new visa, fantastic visa, but I didn't use it so far. So I think after Paris, maybe Moscow will be the next destination for sure. Yeah.
You are very, very welcome always. But right now you are staying in Amsterdam with whole of your family, wife and 2 kids. Yeah. And I know that for a lot of families, it's a pretty harsh period of time during the quarantine. It's hard to entertain yourself and more important to entertain your kids. How do you deal with that?
Okay, that was kind of a nightmare. Obviously, the schools were closed, so I really want to thank all the teachers in the world. They do a tremendous job because I don't know how they can do that. I don't know how to entertain or to do some homework with my daughter more than 15 minutes. It was really, really tough, very challenging and demanding. But yeah, I mean, it was also a nice moment that we could spend together. So it was really interesting, obviously, to try to new things, etc. But yeah, I mean, in terms of productivity, I know, I mean, for me, obviously being more like on a project basis and so on. So I was kind of, and I will explain a bit more about the business after, but it was, I could adapt a bit more my time. But I've got a lot of friends here or in France and so on, and they are working like in agencies or in big companies and so on. And it was like, impossible. It was really, really tough. So
Wow, can
I
imagine.
think it was challenging, but I think this is exactly what's happening for all the parents in the world right now. It's very, very tough. Yeah.
Did you maybe make some new rules or habits during the quarantine that you're gonna keep like forever now?
Okay.
Besides washing your hands.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. By the way, I touched my face, which is very, very wrong. But I wash my hands. So the thing is that I think I was not a very good person during the confinement, because I normally I'm trying to have a nice schedule, and doing some sports in the morning and a bit of meditation a bit later in the day. I mean, reading a bit, etc. During the period, I was terrible. I mean, I couldn't do more than 5 minutes of each thing. It was amazing. I mean, so the only thing I tried to do as much as possible was to go for a run, almost every day or every 2 days, because in the Netherlands the lockdown was not complete. We can go out, so you can go to run if you are careful with the people, you take your distance and everything. So I was trying to do that, but the rest, I mean, I think I've started like 7 books and I didn't finish any. Okay, a bit of Netflix like everybody, but even I think I didn't really finish anything. Yeah, it was really like a nightmare. So I'm happy. I would be happy that the situation comes back to normal, so I can come back to my real routine, which is much better than my pandemic routine. But yeah, I know some people, they started to do some yoga, forget about that. It was impossible. I mean, impossible.
Or I think during the quarantine, every person once said like, "Fuck it, it's the end of the world. I'm gonna do what I want to do."
Yeah, exactly. No, it was not even that. It's just like the organization in the family, and as we say in advertising, the me moments are very, very. I mean, my me moments were between 10 o'clock in the evening to 1 o'clock in the morning. So obviously, it was mostly about doing some stupid binging on Netflix and trying to to entertain yourself a bit with music and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm happy also that, in fact, instead of having some new routine, I started again to do some stuff. So I started again to write. Again, I didn't finish anything. I'm preparing since 3 years already my second book, my fictional book. And believe it or not, in this book, because I have the story since a long time, there is a pandemic. So I don't pretend to be Philippe K. Dick or Jules Verne or whatever, but I believe that, I don't know, I was kind of seeing a bit the future, which is a bit funny. And the other thing that I really enjoyed is, like, I started to write music again. I've got some friends in Amsterdam, they are musicians, and because again in Amsterdam we could see each other, we started to write some songs together again, like very, very interesting moments. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, now it's about keeping that for the future.
Yeah, let's try to put that in your tough schedule that was before the pandemic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's see, you've been a writer, as a musician, a screenwriter, a strategist, and many other things. How these experiences help you in your nowadays life and business?
I'm not sure it was helping so much.
More disturbing than helping.
maybe because I'm thinking too much. I would have preferred to be a gardener, or to be a cook, a French cook, and you can do some great recipes, because that can clean your mind. I mean, to be a screenwriter, or this is not cleaning your mind. This is just, I've been through all the roller coaster emotional curve, like anger. I mean, all this, like all the grief thing. And I think my biggest mistake was from the beginning. I mean, I mean, mostly at the beginning, I was reading a lot. I mean, I was following the news. I was reading a lot. What it was stupid, but I was a lot on Facebook, which is
everybody. Where would you
yeah,
find?
but it's just the most terrible place to be when things go wrong. I mean, everybody's getting completely crazy. Now it's much better because people are a little bit more optimistic, so they share more jokes and fun and interesting articles. But at the beginning, it was like, we're all gonna die, it's over, China, blah blah. It was really, really tough. So I remember when I was like putting the kids in the bed and so on, I was coming back to my computer, looking at Facebook, and I was like, my God, what's going on? I was checking all the numbers in Russia, in France, in the Netherlands, of course, and etc. And I was like, oh my gosh. And of course, I've got some friends everywhere, like in Italy, in Spain. I mean, I was living in Spain for 2.5 years. So I've got a lot of friends there. It was terrible. But so I'm not sure to be a screenwriter or writer, whatever, is helping. But emotionally, I understood a lot about myself, maybe. I don't know, maybe. And talking to some friends as well. And I think there is a lot of, not only inspiration, but a lot of things that I will keep to myself, and somehow it will go out through something, music, maybe a book. So I don't know yet. But my creative juice was really down for a couple of weeks at the beginning. It was very, very complicated, yeah.
So how did you manage to cheer yourself up during this moment? Netflix.
No. Well, I was looking to some depressive series, so no, not really. No.
Black Mirror, because I rewatched the whole Black Mirror.
I watch a bit like Ozark and some stuff like that. Okay. I mean, I've just finished the Last Dance with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, which is quite, I mean, a great inspiration for me and for my business as well, etc. But I've been doing a lot of strange things, like looking to some strange series. But anyway, so how did I cheer up? Well, looking at my kids, of course, I think it's important. I mean, I'm a bad father. I must admit it. You know, you always believe that you take some quality time with the family and the kids and so on, and in fact, you just spend a bit of, I'm not going to cry, don't worry. No, but it was obviously like challenging, but also very positive, like to see them a bit more and to spend some time with them. And yeah, it was, something I started to do. I was promising to myself to never do that, is to follow Donald Trump on Twitter.
Just for fun.
It just, because I was like, you know what? If there is a moment to follow Donald Trump on Twitter, this is the moment. This is right now, right here, right now. And as you know, because of the time difference, every morning you wake up and you have, the result of his imagination through the night, like, in the morning. Oh my gosh, this guy is the biggest brand on earth. He's just amazing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there is a strategist behind what he's saying, but I want this job. It's just amazingly funny. But no, I mean, it's a bit sad as well. I mean, it's getting crazy. I mean, my friends in US are extremely anxious, and they're not really laughing about their president anymore. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, Donald Trump made me laugh many times. And yeah, the family.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you said about Donald Trump being a huge brand, the hugest maybe brand in the world.
I don't know.
I think you were once asked, what is your favorite brand? And you told that Paris would be that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Paris, of course. Excuse me, I'm going to close the door because my baby is crying. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Paris. Okay, this comes back to when I was working in Saatchi, and when we were developing the love marks, for those who know a little bit about the love marks. And obviously Paris was always part of my love marks, for many reasons. And I'm going to be a bit cliche right now, but this is obviously for me the most beautiful city in the world.
For you, believe me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree. Not my Italian friends, but I know that. And well, this is my country. This is where I belong, right? This is where I have my cultural, environment, etc. But strangely, I miss Paris. But when I am in Paris, I'm getting extremely nervous. Don't know why. It's a tough city. It's a big city. Yeah.
Like,
so
I think it's like meeting the old girlfriend. Like you're getting a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it's even worse than that. I don't know. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's always better to love something from far away, because if you are getting closer, you might lose your mind. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so something like that. So yeah, Paris, of course, is one of my lovely places. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that. Okay, enough with the personal questions. That was fun. Let's go to work. Yeah, get ready.
Yeah.
So my first work question or professional question would be, tell us how you decided to open your own business. Was it like you were a consultant, you're not a freelancer, you're not working for one exact brand or one exact agency, you decided to do it your own way and open your own company?
Yeah. Okay, I first of all, I must say it's a very small thing right now. So obviously I'm planning, and I was working on that during the last few months, because I had more time, how to scale up and really understand how to handle more projects. I mean, right now there are less projects, but to have more projects in the future in more regions in the world. But it's a very small thing. But it's a lot of factors, of course. It's it's been 20 years I'm doing this job. Not only brands, but communication in general, like marketing, let's say, in general. So I've been through a lot, and I've handled a lot of brands, and I worked with many great people, etc. But in fact, you know what? The real reason was, I remember a conversation with two friends of mine who were saying to me, by the way, one Spanish and one Italian. So it was kind of a sort of the Latin band, the Latin lovers talking together. So the thing is that we were saying, how can we change the consulting business? How can we change it? Because it's always this feeling that a consultant is coming, he's selling a maximum of services, and then he's going out of your business, right? And it's like, oh, okay, so and now what's going on? Yeah, I've got my company, I've got my brand, and I don't know what to do. So of course, my friends are not exactly in the same business. One is more on innovation, and the other one is more on human development, right? Mm-hmm. But then together we started to articulate that, and I believe that my business Neon42 is a little bit of a hybrid thing between strategy, which is obviously what is my favorite thing, about brands, about communication, about innovation, but also about motivation and human factor, like how you can create a lot of dynamics in a group to achieve the goals, and it's also about achieving big goals. And so the way we want to move on is to really kind of not being on you come 2 or 3 weeks, you solve a problem, and then you disappear. But what we want to do is to deliver some methodologies, some frameworks, some attitudes, some follow-up sessions, etc., to make sure that we are getting really, really close to the evolution of the business. This is where it is right now. I don't know. I mean, things are changing so fast. since a couple of weeks, as you may imagine. There is a lot of work to do about it, but and of course, coming back to my previous experiences, I think in the agencies we still have this problem of we stay a bit too much at the surface of everything. We have a brief. I mean, most of the time we don't have a brief, but we create a brief with the client and we say, okay, let's do something about something cool. But it's all like very, it's like putting some painting on an old table. Yeah, it's really shiny and fun, and we all love that. We all love awards, and we all love buzz and everything. So it's great. It's part of our job, but at the same time, we don't go deep enough in how the team works together, how we can leverage new ideas with the people in place, or what kind of people we can have more, etc., etc. So we are thinking about doing more of that, this human factor as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as you say, your consultancy, Neon42, is driven by sports and entertainment mostly. Why did you choose these two industries in particular?
Okay, first of all, because I love that. I was dreaming since many years about creating a business, about what are my passions and what I'm good at. This thing like I'm good at that. I love that, exactly, like the Japanese thing. Don't remember the name, sorry. But and it's like, okay, how can I? Oh, okay, I love entertainment. I'm a musician, etc., etc. I love sports. I'm not a very big sportsman, but I love to watch football, for example, and etc., etc. So I was like, okay, let's do something like that. And then I started to go deeper on that. And for the people having a look today, I was very much inspired by what's her name? She's a Harvard teacher. And she, by the way, she's Dutch. I will try to, and she's doing, she's using sports and entertainment cases to make business more efficient. So for her, it's a little bit different. She's really teaching the sportsmen to be more effective with their image, with their, their business, if they open some stuff, etc., etc. And that a lot of them now, they have some production companies and some entertainment companies, etc., etc. So it's really like a big deal. And me, I was like, wow, maybe we can apply that to any brand in the world, right? So why it's interesting? Because obviously, entertainment and music are extremely demanding industries. You don't have a second chance. Yeah, when you play the game, you play the game. When you release your movie, you release your movie, right? I mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't say, oh shit, our movie is not successful. We're gonna put it in Christmas or for New Year. No, you can't do that. When you go for it, everything is really well articulated, communication, PR, everything, innovation, new formats, etc. So, for example, if you take some brands like Cirque du Soleil, which is an amazing brand, it's an amazing brand. So how this brand really changed what is the circus environment in the world, right? And it's quite amazing to see. Because I had the chance to take some time with a person that she was innovation director for Cirque du Soleil. It's amazing. It's amazing how they use data to construct the narrative of their shows. This is amazing. Yeah. I mean, for example, if you want another example, I remember I was working for a fashion brand, by the way, in Moscow, and my first meeting with them, I said, okay, we're gonna have a look to the ecosystem of Beyonce. Everybody was like, what the hell? What is the thing? And then when I explained to them how, when I explained to them how Beyonce is organizing the messaging, the communication strategy, where she's putting the money and where, etc., they say, oh wow, well, in fact, it's exactly like a brand. I said, yeah. Beyonce is a brand. Of course, she's an amazing singer, an amazing performer, but she's a brand. She represents something. So this is very interesting because those two industries are extremely tough, competitive, and very precise. Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was talking with not only me. It was kind of a little meetings with few people. I was in a call with some the marketing director of the Miami Dolphins. And the Chicago Bulls and stuff like that. So in US, and it's amazing what they were doing during the pandemic. I mean, they were really driving the community. And then maybe we're going to talk about brands in particular a bit later. And it's like, wow, they were doing more for their community in their city, for their followers, for their fans than any brand, because they care about them. They care. They were caring about the homeless in Miami and all the vulnerable people, around the stadium and not only in the city, etc. And they changed the way they were, because just imagine that suddenly all the football, American football, basketball, everything stopped. So now they are reinventing how we're going to consume sport.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's happening?
How many companies are ready now to go completely online tomorrow? They are already thinking about it since a couple of years, and now it's going to happen. It's going to happen now. They are very fast. They are very good. Yeah. So this is why I think this is very interesting to not to overwhelm the projects with, oh, look at this, look at that, but to say, okay, let's get some inspiration. This is very interesting because those people are extremely good in making us fans like passionate and full of emotions. I mean, I would say, you know what? It's like, I mean, for example, Nike understood it very well, etc. But you can ask anything from Neymar, and he's bigger than a brand. So it's interesting to understand how it works and how those people can. I think Neymar was not a good example because he's always injured, but okay, fine, sorry. No, but you understand what I mean. Just like you can really understand a lot of things. Yeah.
So that was actually my next question. Maybe you can give some more examples of good brand activations that happened during the COVID. Yeah. And maybe then some not good activations.
I think the not so good, you know them already. I think the good ones as well. Obviously, I mean, my top of mind, but maybe because I know some of the people working on this brand is Burger King. Burger King, which is obviously they really like this kind of hacking advertising, or I mean they call that hackvertising or something like that. Yeah. So they did something very cool in France because obviously the restaurants were closed, right? So they did some messages on Twitter and in a bit everywhere on social media, how to create a Whopper, buying some ingredients from the supermarket. And I think this is what is interesting here. It's not about, oh, wow, they found a nice way to talk about themselves. No, it's about saying, you know what? We are all in this shit together, and it's okay to talk about the other brands, no problem. So, you know, and it was very interesting because it's, and of course, like some people did some, because that is more like kind of very, very creative twist. But of course, some great people did some amazing things, like LVMH doing some soap and stuff like that, like Decathlon with the masks. And it was not even an activation. They just discovered that by accident. Even some beers started to talk about, like Brewdog did some, some hand gel and everything. A lot of people did some amazing things. And what is important is not only about communication, it's about action. Yeah, it's about doing things. It's about, okay, what's going on and how can we help, and let's go for it. So that was very, very nice. Then, of course, there was this, I liked very much this puzzle from Heinz. I don't know if you've seen that. It was a puzzle of 500, 40 pieces, like big one, only in red, like the ketchup red. It was for the people to just to, you know, for the quarantine to be, you know, like to spend some time in the quarantine. So you were doing a puzzle that is only red. Yeah. Which is, I think, is very cute. And people will remember you because you gave a little bit of positivity, but also, and then I talk about LVMH and all the other guys, and also you were supporting people, and it's important to support mentally, physically, whatever you can do. It's very important to really take care about the people.
And I think that's a great example would be, have you seen the commercial of Channel 4, I think it's British, about how you should keep your ass at home?
I've missed this one. I need to check.
I'll send it to you.
All right, okay, cool.
It's really great to find something to laugh about at this moment, because everybody is depressed, obviously. And for, let's say, a month, nobody didn't even think how to communicate and didn't know how to do it. And then brands suddenly started to make something that would cheer up people, which is, it's pretty helpful for me, for example.
Okay.
Because you get bored of all these commercials with this music.
Yeah, of course. That is, I mean, how to say that in a nice way? All the brands that were thinking that talking about themselves will make the people stronger and wiser and safer were so wrong. Yeah, since 1962, we are bringing you the best of. Who cares? Who cares right now? I mean, everything. The world is collapsing. I mean, collapsed already, and I'm afraid this is just the beginning right now. We don't care about your car. We don't care about your, you know.
Whatever, basically.
Food, whatever. We care about what can you do for all of us. That's all. And what is important now, and for each brand, was to what is our uniqueness and what is our drive and our purpose, to understand what can we do and in which way we can do something for the people. And this is why Burger King was always about having a good time, having a good fun, good food, etc. So you know what? They were not going to say, "Oh, since 50 years we are doing the best burger, so soon you will be happy," because who cares? So they were just saying, you know what? Continue to have fun, continue to share nice stories, because we're gonna help you with different stuff. I mean, I've seen today or yesterday the new ones, like how to keep the social distancing. You know, they did a triple onion whooper. So you smell so much from the mouth that people are stepping back from you. This is fun. That's all. It's okay. It's not more than just having fun. And this is what Burger King purpose is about. I don't know the exact purpose of Burger King, but it's in line with who they are and what they want to be and what they can bring to the people. But yeah, it's just clever and nice and interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
We've already started to give advices to the brands right now how to make clever communications and how to be helpful. What else would you advise for the brands? Like not exactly right now, let's say, but maybe in foreseeable future or in long terms.
Okay, for right now, because I created a sort of a process, a little methodology that you can find actually. Well, I will send the link to you, and you will share. But so the most important thing is really understand your own culture. Why I'm saying that? Because your culture is about your people. And the first thing for all the brands, all the companies, is obviously to take care about their people first. Yeah. So everybody was saying, yeah, look, now we work from home, etc. Everybody is like super proud to say that. Well, I'm not going to name any brands because there might be some clients one day, but when you fire 3,500 people on a Zoom call, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And at the same time, you are saying that you are caring about people in the city, and you know, it's a little bit complicated. I know the situation is gonna be tough for a lot of companies, but you have to be aligned with who you are, right? With your culture. The second, maybe it's like, yeah, well, I just said it. I mean, just like, what is your purpose? What are your values? And it's going to guide you to understand what can I do for the people, yeah? And obviously, talk to the people as well. I mean, I see a lot of brands that say, hey, let's say that the world is going to be great again, or something like that. But you didn't talk to the people. Talk to the people. I mean, they are staying at home. Yeah, you can. I mean, it was never so easy to make some qualitative research right now. People are at home, and they're happy to talk. They're happy to express themselves. They're happy to share with you some ideas, even because it's so difficult to handle for yourself. Yeah, people, they love to talk, right? So I think, yeah, the second thing is really like to act and to really understand what's going on, and to really understand what you can do as a brand to really be relevant and believable for the people. And I would say something a little bit also that I believe is just like, create a lot of ideas and kill them all, because I mean 99%, because you can't miss the point right now. If you miss the point right now, people will remember. This is very tricky. So creativity is very important right now, but you have to make sure that it's super, super, super subtle, super good, super clever, super wise. So yeah, exactly. They get the maximum of ideas. Ask your agency, ask your partners, everybody. Like, get a lot of ideas, and you know, kill a lot of ideas as well, and get better, because you will not have a second chance. I mean, we come back to, you know, sports and entertainment. You will not have a second opportunity to make a real difference for the people. So think twice. Yeah.
Thank you for the advices. I would like to get back to your keynote that I found on your page of the Neon42.
Yep.
You created a special term, let's call it the neon brands.
Yeah.
How do they look exactly? Can you explain how do they differ from any other outstanding brands? What makes them neon?
Okay. So yeah. So now, I mean, it's well. First of all, I was looking for a hashtag for Twitter and so on. I was like, Neon42 is boring. Okay, neon brand. Okay, so this is that was the beginning of the story. I'm sorry for this. The second story, yeah, neon brand. Yeah, of course, I'm afraid that I was very influenced by the love marks, because I worked on them for many years. A neon brand, obviously, neon, everybody wants to shine, to be bright, you know, to be, I mean, Las Vegas, you know, all this shiny thing, attracting people, and mosquitoes sometimes, you know, and like, you know, so neon brand is just like, wow, it's amazing. But neon brand is also about being challenging, so not being afraid to show off. I mean, not to show off, but to show who you are really, like to, wow, you know, I'm ready to talk about myself and to talk about you and us together. Like, what is our dream? It's also about the dream that we can share. So it's like a sort of a fantasy, and, you know, a lot of colors, a lot of illumination, and yeah, it's about making the people come to you feeling passionate and excited, which is also about like music and stuff like that. And and ask, I mean, and make them do something. So it's because we all talk about like the purpose of the brand. It's important, but it's also about how can we make the people change, do something, act, share, talk. Don't know. So it's well, the neon is coming from that. There's kind of, you know, in the dark you have this bright light. And it's like, oh, I have to, you know, I have
to go there.
Yeah, let's do that. It gives me an idea. It gives me a spark in my mind. You know, it's all about this excitement that you can provoke.
It's like this little light bulb.
A little bit. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should change my logo now. I should put that. Yeah, but no, but it's all about, yeah, all this kind of, you know, wow, shiny moments.
Do you think every brand can become this shiny brand, or there are some special tricky rules to become that one?
Well, I believe that every brand can be a neon brand. I was thinking about some brands right now that I don't know how to twist, but no. But for example, I just imagine like even a soap brand. Well, it's boring, but just imagine that right now the soap brands are saving the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, you know, nobody cares about the brand that you buy for, you know, like to wash your hands. Like, okay, I love this smell, I love this format, I love the, and now it's like, oh my God, we need the best soap, and we need the soap that gives me confidence, etc., etc. So you can see that there is a potential for every brand to challenge the status quo, to be more than. I mean, yeah, to bring something really interesting in the people's lives.
So it means that you have to be in the right place sometimes to become this brand.
So, yeah, absolutely. Because when we talk about brand, I want to understand as well that we don't only focus on the brand itself, but also what we call the brand ecosystem, or the brand, you know, like. So the innovation field, of course, the communication field. We do a lot of scenario planning as well, which is quite important right now because nobody knows what's going to happen in the next few months. So we try to follow. We try to help some brands to understand what's. So it's not about only saying, okay, this is our vision, this is our target audience, this is the insight. This is obviously important to have. But it's also about understanding the full ecosystem of it. Yeah.
Can you dive maybe a little bit deeper in the methodology of the process that you're having while you work with the brand? Or...
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that the methodologies, we create them for each client, which is kind of crazy. Now I think about it. Of course, there are some basic modules or basic, you know, it's like a Lego construction. You have some, you know, you have some things that, yeah, you have some pieces that are already kind of, you know, useful and important from the beginning. But then it can be very diverse. But the thing is that, as I told you a few minutes ago, we have some sessions that are very, very focused on understanding the dream of the consumers. Of course, it's consumer centric. So like everything we do right now, and we use also design thinking because of, I work with IDEO and so on. So the thing is, like, of course, we do that. And second, the dream, and also that there is something that came up from a friend of mine. He said, in fact, what we try to understand is the quan of the brands. So what is the quan? Like,
yeah, that one is interesting.
Yeah, the quan is, it's almost impossible to explain. The quan is an expression that is used in, maybe you remember this film with Tom Cruise called Jerry Maguire, when Tom Cruise is an agent of an American footballer, etc., etc. And there is a very famous scene that you can find on the website, actually, in my presentation, a very famous scene where the sportsman is saying, you're a bad agent, da, 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 da. I want the brand, because he, of course, he wants his brand to become famous and to have some contracts with some other people. He said, we have to find the Quan. And Tom Cruise, like Jerry Maguire, is like, okay, but what is the Quan? And the Quan is this kind of, you know, the vibe, the rhythm, the coolness, and at the end he's saying, because the Quan is the coin. So it's like Quan generates money. And I don't know why we love this stupid expression of the Quan, because nobody understands it. Even me, I've got some difficulties to explain it to the clients. Like they say, okay, whatever you want to do your Quan, I don't care. It's like they say, but it's a positioning. It's like, no, it's not a positioning. It's more like a sort of, you know, like something like you can feel, but you can't say. Sorry?
And then you start to dance.
Yeah, something like that. You know, it's like something like you. Maybe it's not even some words. It's like some. I use a lot of music, by the way, in the sessions we do to give this kind of atmosphere. I try to grab the atmosphere of the people and what makes them tick. And so, yeah, the Quan is that. So we try to find that.
That's actually what Zhenya told in our previous talk. He told me that his creative director taught him a trick. When you cannot explain or create something, sing.
Yeah, exactly. This is yeah. I mean, by the way, there's something interesting. Each time we do an interactive session, we create a playlist for the client, and then they can kind of remember exactly what I said, the vibe of the experience by just listening to the music we selected for them. And yeah, I mean, some of them, they don't care. They say, okay, playlist, okay, thank you. And some of them is like, oh yeah, this one, it was the moment when I found this ID, and this ID, it was cool. And so we try to make it also like a full experience for the people. Yeah.
I think music helps a lot.
Totally.
Me, I can't do anything without music.
Creativity and I mean, creativity like as a big concept. Music is really helping creativity to bloom. It's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Can you maybe share some work that you're doing right now with the clients? I know that it's remote and it's hard to like.
Well, I mean, I'm very transparent all the time. It's a tough time. A lot of projects were postponed, and I have a very big thought for all my friends in the same situation, or even in the agencies. Like, I'm not sure the brands or the companies, they are right to do that, but okay, this is their choice. They feel uncomfortable. They think that, and of course, the money is getting difficult. But what was interesting in that case is like I had more time to spend with some brands that are a little bit kind of unusual. Or so right now, for example, I'm pretty well focused on Make Music Day based in Brooklyn, in New York. So Make Music Day is it's kind of the American version of Fête de la Musique, like the Music Day that we have in many countries. They contacted me. So for me, it was really interesting because obviously with my music background and with Neon42, it was really, really interesting. And they called me a couple of weeks ago, saying, okay, dude, we have a problem because, you know, the Music Day is an event that in every street, in more than 40 cities in US, you have some guys taking the guitar, having a good time. You can go with your friends, having a drink and sing along, etc. And now we have to go online. Mm-hmm. So I did all the strategy for them to how to move from a sort of a community-based kind of live experience to how can we create that online. So this day is going to be on the 21st of June. And for safety reason, of course, they don't even imagine to create some real events. So, and we developed, they developed, and now I'm doing the strategy around that, like more than 15 kind of different activations online, and also in each city we prepare like a sort of a big toolkit for each city to develop some online events, like in Austin, in San Francisco, in Chicago, etc. So it's quite amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they are terrified because they don't know how it's going to work. But okay, we'll see. I mean, it's there is no other option. Then the second one that I really love, and is for a friend of mine, and they were launching even before the pandemic. They were launching a brand called Fadaa. It's kind of because it's a little bit kind of Middle East. So they are based in New York, Copenhagen, and Berlin, and it's about finding some spaces for artists. You know, sometimes artists they need some spaces to perform their art, their music, their painting, etc. But they don't have the money to really find the right spaces. And he called me, he said, hey man, you know what, we should brainstorm, I'm sure you have some ideas, etc. And I said, wow, you know what, so many places are empty right now.
Yeah.
Like hotels, galleries, museums, I mean a lot of places. Wow. So yeah, I mean companies, I mean so, and I said maybe we should. So we are creating a big platform right now with a big website, and I hope you're going to see that soon. We are finalizing all the wording and all the Quan, the Quan base. And yeah, it's all about, for example, if you're like an art gallery, why not? Right now you can't receive anybody. Why not to invite, of course, with all the safety measures, to invite some artists for 2, 3, 5 days, 1 week, and they do some stuff. And then the day you open again, well, you have an exhibition ready. Yeah. You have something, you don't have to say, oh shit, I need to call this guy, I need to call. The stuff is there. The same for the hotel. So right now we are in contact with the Chelsea Hotel in New York, like very iconic hotel for musicians in New York. It's empty. You know, it was the hotel of the Velvet Underground, the Doors, and all the stuff. Why not to say, hey, take the rooms and just create something crazy, right? So we are in negotiation right now to understand exactly what we can do about that. So this is the kind of project that obviously I didn't have time before to really focus on, and we don't see you, babe. To focus on, and now, yeah, I mean. And you know what? And I believe that it's important to help as well, and to be here at the moment that, you know, I feel useful in some other spheres than just, you know, doing some brand platforms for big companies and etc. etc. So this is quite interesting.
It's connected with one of your passions, because music is your passion, and now you can help it.
Yeah, exactly. That's very interesting for sure. Yeah.
Okay, we talked about good projects. Now, can you tell us about some of your fuck-ups? Like the tremendous one.
Like fuck-ups now, or fuck-ups in my life?
Anyone that you're embarrassed by, or you would do it completely different right now if it was happening?
No, I've got a story that I remember. I mean, I don't know if it was a fuck-up because I was a little bit proud of it. It was like, okay, Chloé, s'il te plaît, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Sorry for that. Go to mom. Sorry. So yeah, I remember to have prepared a presentation for PepsiCo, for Pepsi, and I remember the title still. It was like, how great it is to be #2 forever. And it was a very bad idea. It was a very bad idea because Pepsi doesn't want to accept that they will be behind Coca-Cola for the rest of their life.
Did you present it?
I started. I think they stopped me after the 3rd slide. So I will not say more because I was in BBDO Moscow at that time, so I don't want to incriminate some very good friends of mine. And but the client was lovely, and it's okay. But I just wanted to show to them that to be a challenger allows you to be more, I mean, to dare more, to be, you know, to try more things, to experiment, but it didn't go well.
You're afraid to lose your first place. You have a lot of more to.
It's exactly what we said about Burger King. Yeah, I mean, McDonald's is is number one. So okay, just have fun. I mean, anyway, you can do money as well, right? So the thing is that it didn't go very well. Yeah, but but you know what? But I still believe that this presentation was really cool, but they didn't like it very much anyway.
So we still have 5 questions from the audience. If you are ready for that, good.
Yeah. If it's okay for you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty amazed by the conversation. I could do it the whole night.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So I have an interesting, let's say it's a question of decision. How do you think, what would save the challenge right now, the strategy or the creativity? If it's a tricky one, and you don't need to choose only one.
Okay.
Let's hear it from you.
I'm not sure. The thing is, like, I'm not sure you can separate strategy and creativity. Creativity sucks without a good strategy, and strategy is not very. I mean, if you don't have a good, if strategy can be brilliant, but if you have a bad interpretation or a bad implementation, even, you know, like it can be very detailed like that. I mean, it's like your strategy can be brilliant, but it goes nowhere, right? And I believe now that the two roles or the two fields are extremely closed. I can see that a lot of strategists are actually quite good creatives, and creative people are more and more strategic. So I always try as much as possible to, when I work with creative people in agencies, for example, is to really work. It's not about like I'm delivering my 20 slides and then I'm waiting for the work. It's about working together and interacting and challenging each other, etc. Because at the end of the day, the idea will come from the fusion, the fusion of both. So I think the agencies that are trying to separate and even kind of you know, like, okay, you do the strategy and you do the creative and this is how it's going to work, I think this is wrong. I think this is the two functions are together, should be together from day one until the presentation, or until even, you know what I mean, it was by the way, it was great, like in BBDO, being a strategic person, I was invited on the shooting sometimes because the client wanted to be sure that what we were filming, of course I'm not a specialist in shooting and everything, but like to feel that we are aligned, that we are together making the same projects, or the same project all together, which is very interesting in that case. Yeah,
I agree with you. I had the same idea that it can be working without one another, especially right now. I mean, you could have a great idea, but if you don't know how it would work, how it would affect your audience, it's nothing.
Absolutely.
Another question. Why do you think some brands stay silent?
Oh, because they have nothing to say. I don't know. Okay, this is the biggest dilemma of right now. What's happening right now. I think it's also a choice not to interfere or not to be present. It's okay. If you don't have anything important to say, Chloe, please. If you don't have anything important to say, it's better to keep the low profile. But still, on the other side, there is another factor that, as we know, that I was doing some benchmark with the crisis in 2008 and so on, and it's true that the brands that are trying to be there when people need them, they are recovering much faster after the crisis. Like even like when you read some McKinsey reports, like 9 times faster, you know, than other brands. So I've got a dog also. It's complicated. So the thing is that
That's like a dream.
yeah, it's the full family, you know, a bunch. So the thing is that I'm not saying to the brands, please say something and please say it now if you don't feel that that you're ready for it. But excuse me, you can close the door, please. Okay, I'm afraid because the pizza are just close to me, and I think they're getting very hungry right now. So the thing is that
minutes and I'll let you go.
no, it's fine, it's fine. So the thing is that I respect also the brands that are deciding not to do anything or say anything, but maybe those brands, they are acting on some more kind of, you know, hidden pieces of their business. Maybe they're helping you know, their category, and maybe they produce some knowledge or they try to keep their staff safe. You know, you don't have to be on TV or to have a great website to be a great brand right now. But it's true that people would love to see some brands a little bit more active. It's funny what you say. It's not about brands, but I had a funny discussion few days ago, and you have some people that are extremely famous, and okay, I'm going to say the name, like Gary Vee and Tony Robbins and all those guys. Yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, be the best, you know, you remember in Moscow, this big big Olympijski stadium full of believers and so on. Yeah, where are they right now?
Where are they? Yeah,
where are they? I mean, the last time I've seen Tony Robbins on Facebook, he was selling a program for 2,000 euros. People are getting broke. This is not what we need from you, man. This is not your brand. Your brand is to give hope. Your brand is to give knowledge. Your brand is to motivate the people to go further, not to sell a program. So you see, this is a real moment of truth right now. And this is why a brand that doesn't say anything is also a moment of truth of, you know what, I'm not in the position to do anything right now, but please be patient, I'm coming. Yeah. So it's also like how you try to balance this with your own assets.
Yeah, and maybe the silent help now is the best help that everybody needs.
For some of the brands, I think it's better to keep silent, to be honest.
Yeah.
And not to make mistake, but okay, that's another problem. Yeah.
So let's make it a last question.
Yes.
And it's also about inspiration, basically. In these uncertain times, where do you think we as people and as brands and as companies can get inspiration for changes and for making some better things happen?
Well, inspiration. I don't know if it's about inspiration. Okay. I'm not sure I'm going to answer exactly your question, but
just say something inspiring.
Yeah. I just want to end up our conversation with a very bright, you know, thought, which I'm struggling with right now. But no, but okay. I know a lot of people. They say, maybe they're right. They say, hey, this is the new world. This is a better world. We will. People are closer to each other. People are. I don't believe the world is going to change so much. I'm a bit more
realistic,
pragmatic, maybe negative, you can say. I'm afraid things are going to be even more tougher and more complicated, and you can feel already that the relationships can be very nice and open-minded and so on, but still things are gonna, people are gonna struggle and it's gonna be pretty bad. But what I believe is that right now, this is the best moment for the brands to really reassess where they are, what they do, how they are perceived, how they can engage people, because as I said before, it's a real moment of truth, which means that, so, I mean, sorry for my French. Right now, the assholes are visible and the nice people as well. The people that are trying to gain from the situation are visible as well. Mm-hmm. So this is a moment where everybody is like, it's like a wake-up call. So I'm not saying that it's gonna be, you know, I don't know in few months, but just right now. And even like some people I really respect, like in France, like some guys, like they start to say, yeah, we have to save the planet. And yes, we have to save the planet, but why are you talking about, I mean, it's about subtleties in the way the speech they have, right? It's kind of politician speech, and we don't need politics right now. We just need to stand for what we believe and to keep
basically.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big moment of truth, and I'm telling you, we're gonna very quickly see who is on our side and who is not. And I think for some companies that's gonna be difficult, because people are gonna say, whoa, 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 whoa. You remember when we were all like locked down with our families, like trying our best to do our best and to try to keep smiling in front of the kids and trying not to, you know, to get crazy and get a bit of sleep. You were doing some money, man. I mean, you know, you were doing, you know, I mean, Amazon doing 13 billion more money. I can't blame them. This is their business. But you know what? Give back a bit, give back a little bit also. I know that they try to do few things, but is it enough? Is it enough? You know, so it's, you can think about a lot of again. I think we were day sleeping a little bit lately. It's like okay, yeah, okay. We of course, like, or in Russia we have a lot of crises, so we're never sleeping in Russia. But in Europe it was like everything is okay, everything is all right, okay. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow, no. Now we can recognize who can help and who cannot. So things are going to be extremely interesting in a couple of months, and we have to get prepared. I mean, as a strategist and helping brands, I would say this is the moment to really understand on which side you want to be. It's, I mean, sorry for the big dramatic ending, but it's like, try to understand who you want to be in the story. Yeah, I love storytelling. So, I mean, you have to take the right character in the story, because people remember, they remember a lot.
Yeah, you know? And somebody might be playing you in some movie after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this is the influence of entertainment again. But yeah, but this is obviously. But this is something that everybody is using, you know, and like this power of a story, and we are living a major, unique, extraordinary story right now. And we will remember who was acting good and who was acting bad. That's all. So
yeah, let's all stay human.
Yeah, maybe we will forget, or we will, you know, we will not blame. We will say, yeah, but what else? Yeah, what else can we do? It's complicated. I mean, even if you take it as at the level of the people, sometimes the people are, even me. Sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm very stressed. I'm with my children in the street, and I'm like, I see the people like close, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm a bit like a yeah. I'm trying to protect my people, yeah. And maybe from the external point of view, I look like I'm a bad person. I don't try to understand. I'm not empathic, but so we will see. We will see. It's complicated. We have to give. We have to give ourselves a little bit also of you know, time to understand where and how we can do that better. Yeah. Anyway,
thank you so much, Franck.
Like I didn't want to end up with. I wanted to end up with a joke like Donald Trump, but it's like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. All right.
Anyway, thank you so much. It was an inspiring conversation, and thank your family who let us be with you.
Waiting for the pizza, yeah. So I think I'm gonna unleash the lions on the pizza right now, like in 2 minutes.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to see you one day somewhere in this world when we are.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I mean, maybe in September in Moscow. Yeah, I mean, if everything is according to the plan, I may come to Moscow around September. So that would be great.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye.